And we are live. This is Mark Rodriguez, and it is a beautiful, chilly evening here in New York. And tonight I have a special guest. We're going to talk about um, everything that's kind of plaguing us today, right? You can't turn on the TV, the radio without hearing about COVID or school closures and the various things that are affecting our lives negatively. So, my guest tonight is Ruben Guzman. I'm going to bring him on. Let's add him here right now. Ruben, how are
Okay,
you?
I'm doing great. Thanks, Mark.
So, Ruben, why don't you introduce yourself?
Well, my name Ruben J. Guzman. MPH does not stand for the speed that I drive my car, just so you know. Okay, so it, it stands for
Nice.
Masters in Public Health, and I got that from UCLA back in 1988. And then I chose to not go back to medical school, where I had been doing training for 3 years at UC Davis School of Medicine. And I chose to pursue lifestyle medicine, not knowing that there was anything called lifestyle medicine. In fact, it didn't exist back then. And then in 2016, I discovered that there is a new branch of medicine called lifestyle medicine. Went to my first lifestyle medicine conference in 2017. They announced a board certification opportunity for physicians, for MDs and DOs, but also for professionals, PhDs, and those with a master's in a health related field, which would be me. So I went the next year, went to my second conference, took the exam, passed my board exam. So I am so proud. It took me 30 years to find my tribe, but I am board certified in lifestyle medicine, and
Congratulations.
that's what I get to do today.
Congrats. Congrats.
Thank
Well,
you.
just a short story on how we met, right? So
Yeah,
years ago, I saw you on YouTube, and
yeah,
I sought you out because I was going through some issues with weight, the roller coaster ride with weight, and you were the one that kind of showed me it's not just the weight,
mhm,
right? It's like if you have a cluttered apartment, you pretty much have a cluttered mind. There's other things going on, and so um, I attended your evolving health program a few weeks ago, and the results are really great. I'm feeling fantastic. I chose to not only stick to a whole food, plant based, oil free lifestyle, but I've also included some juicing as well. And I feel it in my skin. I can see it in my skin and the way I feel. And it's certainly helping me kind of deal with and cope with everything that we're dealing with today, right?
yeah,
Just
yeah,
yesterday they announced the largest school system in the United States, the New York City
yeah,
public school system, would
yeah,
close.
yes,
So there's a lot of stress on
mm,
parents, on teachers, on everyone. The kids really aren't learning in a
yeah,
virtual environment. So for the better part of, gosh, how many months it's been already, it's certainly impacting everyone on different levels. So I definitely would love for you to speak to, you know, in a at a time in our lives where it feels like there are so many things outside of our control.
mhm,
What are some of the things that we can control? What are some of the things that we can do from a preventative standpoint and also from a coping standpoint?
mhm, mhm.
How can we thrive when everyone right now kind of feels like we're just trying to survive?
Yeah, really great question because, and that's something that I addressed. In fact, I did a webinar on Sunday, beating COVID 19 and the next pandemic. And I don't know, do you have an echo there? Do you have an echo there? Because I'm hearing an
But
echo from my side.
I got you. Go ahead.
Okay, good. So anyway, I talked about beating COVID 19, and there's several things that we need to look at. One, we need to look at the fact that this is an infectious disease and it's invisible. We can't see it. So it is around and it transmits easily. It transmits not only by contact, but also airborne. So there
Hmm.
are several things that we should do we need to be intelligent about this. And this is a public health issue. It's not a political issue. Please, please. It has nothing to do with your personal rights. It has nothing to do with that whatsoever. This is strictly a public health issue. So it's really important to understand that. All right. So we want to be very, very intelligent about this. And so things that we need to do. One, personal hygiene absolutely goes a long way. Washing your hands, definitely. We want to be able to do that and do it frequently because that helps. The virus itself is actually fairly wimpy. It really is. I mean, soap and water destroys it. So we want to be able to stay clean. So it's really important. In terms of interacting with other human beings, we want to be able to wear a mask because that limits the spread. Doesn't necessarily 100% control it, but it limits it greatly, greatly. So we need to be intelligent about this. In addition, what we need to be able to do is have distance with people. So, I mean, keep your distance. Right now, the big deal, and this is a real big deal, it just got announced by the CDC. In fact, they announced that they are discouraging travel and large gatherings during Thanksgiving. Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. And that's hard for us as human beings because we're social creatures. It's very, very hard. So we're social creatures and we thrive on being able to have social contact. And it's a very difficult thing for us. We're dealing with social isolation. We're dealing with loneliness. And so we need to be able to stay connected in alternative ways. And that's really what we need to be able to do right now. And it's difficult. It's difficult for a lot of people in many different ways. So it's important for us to do that. So those are the basics as far as being able to deal with COVID-19 as far as the virus itself. But there's still a lot more in terms of being able to build resilience. Resilience is defined in psychology as being able to build the strength to weather the storms, to be able to take care of the difficulties. The stronger we are physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, the stronger we'll be able to withstand the challenges that we face. And that's resilience. And that's what we need to be able to build. So that is the time. So if we wallow in our misery and we start complaining and we start worrying about, oh, woe is me and this is what I'm missing, then we'll never get ahead of this. And so we have to really keep a positive mental attitude and look for opportunities. In Chinese, the word crisis is defined by two word symbols. The first symbol is danger, because yes, there is a legitimate danger. There's a risk, and we need to be really aware of that, right? But the second part of the symbol for crisis in Chinese is opportunity. There is an opportunity. And a lot of people call it the silver lining on the cloud, right? It is. There's an opportunity, but we have to know we have to be looking for it. We have to be mentally ready for it. And then we have to be prepared for it. So it really is imperative that we take great care of ourselves, first and foremost, and take care of our family members and whoever we're in a circle with. And we've got to be able to take care of optimizing our health. So in lifestyle medicine, we talk about 7 areas. In fact, I think I can go to a slide. I can bring up the 7 areas.
Sure. You're on a share screen there, right?
Let me see if I can do that real quick here.
Sure.
Let's see if I could do that real quick. So we want to be able to focus on lifestyle medicine. And the area now, lifestyle medicine is an evidence-based approach. Let's see here, share screen. Let me read this real quick.
Now, are you sharing a
2 monitors? I got it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Very good. Perfect. I got it. Yes. Okay. There we go. All right then. So what we want to be able to do, lifestyle medicine is an evidence-based approach to prevent, reverse, and treat chronic disease using lifestyle measures as opposed to medications. Now, we know when it comes to chronic disease conditions, the best thing that we can do is change our lifestyle. about 80% of all healthcare issues are related to lifestyle.
For
And
sure.
the treatment for lifestyle caused diseases and for chronic diseases isn't another pill, isn't another injection, isn't insulin, it isn't, it isn't a statin drug. No. What we need to be able to do is change our lifestyle. That's what caused the problem in the first place. So the areas that we focused on in lifestyle medicine: nutrition, physical activity, emotional well-being, alcohol and tobacco reduction, healthy relationships, hydration, and sleep. These are all important. Consider these spokes of a wheel. And what we need to be able to do is have the whole wheel in balance. And when we attend to all of these, it makes a profound, profound difference. So that's what we want to be able to do. And this is really important right now. Right now, this is the opportunity that we're all being asked to look at and to embrace. It's the opportunity to improve our lifestyle. So yeah, we can stop sharing that right now. So you can stop doing that. So
Okay.
go back to me.
You got it.
Okay. Very good. All right, good. So that's what we have to be able to do. That's really important right now. So we need to improve our sleep. That's one of the things that a lot of people are not doing well because they stay up late. They have erratic sleep habits. So we want to have regular sleep. Shorter sleep equals shorter life. So that's one of the places to really start. Hydration, really important. Most people do not drink enough water. We know in the research, 5 glasses of water a day is enough
Right.
to decrease the risk of heart disease by 50%.
That's crazy.
It should be on
That's
CNN
crazy.
every night.
Yeah.
It's not. I got to get to those guys. So we need to drink our water. We need to eat a whole food, plant-based diet. Just so everybody knows, the American College of Lifestyle Medicine, the American College of Cardiology, and
Right.
the American Medical Association all support a whole food, plant-based diet as optimal for reducing the risk of chronic disease. You heard it from me. Okay? So all the major medical minds, the scientific minds, all endorse a whole food, plant-based diet. Whole food as opposed to processed foods, and plant-based as opposed to animal-based. And it makes a huge difference. It really does. We have all the data. There's tons, thousands and thousands of data, research studies now. So we need to be able to do that. Stress management is critical right now. It really is. It's hard for us because we're isolating. We have to isolate. We have to distance ourselves. We know from the research we need about 12 hugs a day for emotional well-being. We're deficient right now.
12 hugs a day?
12 hugs a day.
Wow.
I am
Interesting.
seriously deficient.
So am
And
I.
I'm a hugger. I'm a hugger. I'm a hugger. So I am really in deficit. So when this is over, I'm going to go crazy. So the thing is, we need about 12 hugs a day for emotional well-being. We really do. So that's hard for us right now. So we have to do other things. We have to do other things to help us to be happier and to be healthier. There's a book that I recommend. I'm going to be talking about that this weekend on my webinar on Sunday. I'm doing another webinar on Sunday, the 5 secrets to living a thriving, healthy, happy life. And I'm going to talk about how we can actually be happy. So I'm
Now
going
the
to do
site
that.
the site that I have going there, that's the one to go to?
Yes, go to my
coachruben.com?
website, scroll down to the bottom on the homepage,
Mm-hmm.
and there's the calendar is right there. You just click and register, and it's all free. You just have to click and register. But the 5 secrets to living a thriving, healthy, happy life.
I was going to ask you, how did you get started in this whole field?
Oh my God.
What what made you get into this?
Well, it's a long
On
and
this
winding
level,
road.
right?
Well, so what happened was I knew I wanted to become a physician. When I graduated college, I knew I wasn't ready to take the exam, the medical college admissions test. So I
Right.
worked in the hospital, and I I started being very soon after I started working in the hospital, I became a pathologist assistant. So
Mm-hmm.
I got to look at every single surgical specimen that came out of the operating room, and I also conducted
Right.
autopsies. So the thing that really got me started was a single autopsy. One autopsy started the whole show because now I had done lots of autopsies on people who had died from complications of chronic disease. But this woman came in, she was in her mid 70s, shortness of breath, passed away within a couple of hours. They didn't even have time to do a medical workup. They drew her
Wow.
blood and that was about it. So by law back then, if a person died within less than 24 hours of admission, an autopsy was required. So the next day, Dr. Glover and I started to do the autopsy, and Dr. Glover said, Ruben, take careful note. We may never see this again. And he
Right.
was absolutely right. Here was a woman in her mid 70s, her internal organs as pristine, beautiful, flawless as a newborn. How could this be? Dr. Glover was shocked. He
Wait,
had
no
been,
diabetes, no
no,
no
nothing,
benchmarks for
no.
disease at all.
Like, I mean, perfect. Like she looked like a healthy, internally, she looked like a healthy, athletic teenager
And she was
in her
70.
70s. In her 70s. All
Wow.
right. So it was extraordinary. Careful dissection revealed an undiagnosed ventral septal defect, which is a defect in the heart. And Dr. Glover, who had been a surgeon before he became a pathologist, he said, this could have been corrected had it been caught. But most people with this defect rarely live past their 20s.
Wow. She lived to 70.
How was that? So Dr.
Wow.
Glover was, see, he was so enthralled with this. And he said, I've got to sit down with the family and share with them what I discovered. And so I got to sit in on that meeting, and Dr. Glover shared what he had discovered. And then he asked, how did she live? And this was what was so interesting. And the family shared that she was a Seventh-day Adventist who followed the rules
Right.
of the Seventh-day Adventist. Now, I didn't know what's a Seventh-day Adventist. I had no idea. But
Mm-hmm.
it was extraordinary because no meat, no dairy, no eggs, no processed food, had a garden in her backyard,
Interesting.
ate everything that she grew, walked 5 miles a day every single day of her life that they knew of for at least 40 years. She was a positive, happy person, involved in her community, involved socially. She was a mother, a grandmother, and a great-grandmother. And she was
Wow.
extraordinary. That led to a series of conversations with Dr. Glover about the connection between lifestyle and longevity. And I started to do research about the Seventh-day Adventists, which happens to be one of the 5 longest living groups of people on the face of the planet. And it's extraordinary. We've actually analyzed their diet, we've analyzed their lifestyle, and it's really extraordinary. Lifestyle medicine is actually based on the studies and the research that's been done on the 5 blue zones, the people with the longest living lives on the planet and the healthiest lives. And in fact, the best health outcomes are in Okinawa, and they've got 98% of their diet coming from plants.
Interesting.
98%. Very, very interesting. So when I went to medical school, I became disillusioned, went to UCLA, studied public health, loved it, but then I knew there was more for me. I studied lifestyle medicine on my own, finally got up to this point, and I've been passionate about this for a very long time. I just love this, and it's just something I love being able to make a
No,
difference.
Coach. Let me listen. I'm so grateful that our paths crossed because 2020 has been a year of change for
Mhm.
millions upon millions upon millions of people. I know in my own life, a lot of stress, a downturn in business. I'm generally speaking a very positive person. Well,
Mhm.
this year knocked me on my ass. I mean,
Yep.
this was between
Yeah.
my dad dying, my mother
Yeah.
falling, breaking her hip. She's in Florida now.
Yeah.
Um, just the combination of strikes, and now
Mhm.
listen. Now I'm at a point in my life now where I have a tremendous opportunity to make this next chapter of my life, or the rest of my life, the best of my life.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
and so I can tell you that just making the changes I've made so far. When you talk about eating along the lines of a very healthy lifestyle,
Mhm.
and I'm using the word, I'm saying eating, right? Just
Yeah.
nutrition. There's more to it than that, and
Mhm.
you're 100% right. If your sleep is off, other areas of your life will be
Yeah.
off kilter. If you don't get good hydration, you've got oh, funny. I've got to put this one up there. This is Tom Ginn. He says the answer to our healthcare crisis, it is lifestyle medicine for sure.
Yeah.
Thank you for that, Tom.
Absolutely.
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 Um, there are so many areas of our life that are impacted. So if we don't drink enough water, that affects it affects our organs, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and you realize that. I know I've realized looking at my dad. His life completely changed when he retired.
Mhm.
Growing up, we ate meat. We ate a lot of rice. Mom used a lot of oil, whether it was olive oil or cooking oil.
Sure.
Um, so our culture is tied into food.
Oh
It's a
God, yes.
big part of our culture,
Oh, I know. I
and
know
you
really
know from
well.
right. So for
Yeah.
me,
Yeah.
I mean, this is a
Mhm.
tough time of the year for us, right? This
Sure it
is
is.
the big Thanksgiving meals, and
Oh yeah.
so going into this, now we're in the last quarter of 2020,
Yeah.
and one of the reasons why I took your evolving health seminar, is I didn't want to wait to make
Right.
a New Year's resolution for 2021 when my life was so crappy right now. My life was on
Mhm.
a spiral. It was a spiraling downward vortex.
Yeah.
And so if I didn't take control, grab kind of slip over into the driver's seat of my life, man, I was headed towards
Mhm.
who knows in terms
Yeah.
of health.
Right.
Tom, I'm gonna reference this. Tom has a great question here. I would love for you to address this. What are your thoughts on mindset on health?
Oh, that's a great question, Tom, because that's actually fundamental to what I've taught, and Mark will attest to this because in my evolving health program, I spend half of the program dealing with mindset. That's the beginning. Einstein said that the significant problems we face cannot be solved at the same level of thinking we were at when we created them. Now, what he was telling us that we have to shift our thinking, but more importantly, he's also telling us that we have to take responsibility for the fact that we created our own problems, not intentionally, but subconsciously. Subconsciously, we created the programs. And Bruce Lipton talks about how that subconsciously we adopted a wiring, we downloaded our beliefs and our habits and our programming. 90% of the programming that we have as human beings, we adopted before the age of 7. And that's what's running our lives as adults. So the first thing that we have to do, whether you're an athlete, whether you're a professional, whether you're trying to transform your health, is that we've got to be able to rewire the subconscious mind. And I don't know about you, but I never got a course in high school or in college about how to rewire your subconscious mind. But that is fundamental to what I teach. I've learned along the way from wonderful expert teachers, including people like Dennis Waitley, Tony Robbins, and Dr. Wayne Dyer, and many others. But how do we successfully rewire our subconscious mind so that we don't sabotage ourselves over and over and over again? And that's critical. That's where the whole path to transforming our health must begin. That is step one of my 4 steps to transforming our health. We've got to begin from within. So absolutely absolutely critical. That's where it all starts. And Mark will attest to it. I mean, we start there because this is the key to the game right here.
Yeah, we do a deep dive in terms of heck, maybe Ruben, you could talk about the difference between a growth mindset and
Mm,
a fixed mindset,
yes.
and those two areas are probably have never been more important than today to kind of
Yeah. Yeah.
discuss them, because awareness is it's awareness.
Yeah.
Where are
It
you
is.
right now? Or do you have a
Yeah.
growth mindset? Are you grateful?
Yeah.
Can you talk
Absolutely.
to
I
that? That would
mean,
be great.
yeah, it's really important. So one of my favorite books is from Dr. Carol Dweck, and she wrote the book Mindset. And if you haven't read it yet, put it on your reading list. Get that book. Definitely read it. It is fabulous. And what she looked at from the course of over 30 years of research at Stanford University, she was able to see, she actually studied why is it that some children who have every advantage conceivable, they still struggle in their life? And why is it that other children who have seemingly no advantage whatsoever, every disadvantage, and yet they're able to overcome? Why is that? And so she did a deep dive on this and really explored this for over 30 years. Fascinating work, great research. And what she determined after all this time is that how we operate psychologically in terms of our mind is the same way as how our body is wired, because our body is wired fundamentally to help us to survive or to thrive. That's all there is, and that has to do with our central nervous system. So we are either thriving or surviving. And when we're thriving, we're operating from the parasympathetic branch of the central nervous system. When we're surviving, we're operating from the sympathetic branch of the central nervous system. And it's same is true from our mindset. So our thinking goes right along with our nervous system. So when we're in the state of survival, we're operating in what's called the fixed mindset. The fixed mindset is rigid thinking. It's all about either you're a winner or a loser, you're a success or a failure. You got it or you don't. All right. So it's very rigid, and there's a lot of attachments in the fixed mindset, and it's all about survival. Now, that's the fixed mindset. And then the contrast to that is the growth mindset, which is in the parasympathetic branch of the central nervous system. And the growth mindset is all about learning, getting better, just keep making progress. It's not about winning or losing or being a success or a failure. It's just keep growing, keep getting better. It's not perfection. It's not an attachment to perfection, which the fixed mindset is. It's a continual commitment to growth and development. And it's a beautiful thing. And what we want to be able to do to promote health is to promote more of being in the growth mindset. It really makes a
Hmm.
big difference. Great question. I didn't see that. I didn't read that last
Oh,
thing that you
Tom,
put.
yeah, Tom said you're right on. Negative thoughts affect our health at the cellular level.
Absolutely.
Love all the people you referenced.
Thank you.
Um,
Thank you, Tom. Yeah, really great. Really great.
when it's funny when you mention the cellular level.
Yeah.
Um, let me get this one out. There we go. We have a lot of people today who going through the pandemic,
Yeah.
whatever comorbidities they had, whatever um, health issues they were magnified,
Oh, yeah.
right? Because they were
Absolutely.
just, if you had diabetes and you weren't checking the diabetes. Could you explain diabetes? I know when I
Yeah.
went through the course, I was blown away
Mm.
by you talked about the mitochondria, the lipids inside the cell, and how that's hard.
Right.
I know
Right.
it's maybe in layman's terms, but if you could
Yeah. I'll put it
describe
in a
that, maybe
layman's
you have a
terms. It's
slide on
really,
that.
yeah. Let's see. I may be able to pull up a slide, but I'll make it simple.
No worries.
So
Hmm.
consider this, that the basic fundamental unit of the body is a cell. We've got
Hmm.
trillions of them. Okay,
Right.
so we've got so many cells, and they all fundamentally have very similar characteristics. Okay, there's some differences because the blood cells operate a little bit differently than other cells, but fundamentally the cells all have very similar characteristics. They're much more similar than they're not. So if we were to look inside of muscle cells, we could see that they're very similar to other types of cells. Now,
Right.
the thing about diabetes, for the longest time, when I was in medical school, I was taught that diabetes was considered a condition called insulin resistance. So, in order for sugar in the bloodstream to get into the cell to be utilized for energy, then there has to be a transport molecule called insulin. So insulin has to attach to the outside of the cell. And then what happens, once that happens, it then serves as a messenger and sends a signal over to the glucose channels. These are gates, special gates that allow the glucose molecules to come in, and other molecules as well, to come into the cell. So it's a security system. So we've got a really good security system. So we got, for instance, you wake up in the morning, like today, you probably, this morning, you got up and you thought to yourself, oh my God, I'm going to be watching a Facebook Live with Mark Rodriguez and his guest, Coach Ruben. I can't wait. I'm so excited. And so your brain said, oh, you're going to need some sugar to get your muscles to actually contract.
Right.
So then the signal got sent from your brain to your pancreas to release some insulin so that the blood sugar can actually go into your cells and the muscle cells, allowing them to contract. And then you jumped out of bed and say, yeah, I'm so excited for today. Now, all that took less than 2 seconds. And it's extraordinary how this works. That's a normal situation. But if a person has diabetes, what we learned a long time ago was that insulin resistance, there's something blocking the insulin from working at the cell membrane. So what we've been doing for decades, because that's all we knew, we've been trying to jam insulin into that insulin receptor. So we've been putting more insulin and metformin and all kinds of other drugs, trying to get that insulin receptor to work. Come on, damn it, open up. So that's what we've been doing. We've never cured diabetes doing that. It's never been reversed doing that. And in fact, I was taught, if I diagnose a patient with diabetes, I had to be responsible and inform the patient that they were going to need to be on medication for the rest of their life. And that the best that they could do was manage their diabetes with diet and exercise and medication. And so it was basically a life sentence. We were never taught that it could be reversed. We were never taught that. So in 2004, some innovative research at the cellular level was conducted at Yale University. And what we were able to do was look inside the cell in a live state, which was great because before then we had to kill all the cells before we could look inside of what was going on. So we were able to look in a live situation and trace everything going in and out. So they did research on diabetics. And they actually traced everything going in and out. It's a very special high-tech MRI study that they are able to do. And when they studied these diabetics, the inside of the cell lit up with fat, with what they call intramyocellular lipid, which is a fancy name for a fat. Now, this is shocking. Now, I'll tell you why it's shocking. Because normally, a normal cell, on the inside of the cell, it's about 90% water, 10% fat. But we were seeing these muscle cells of diabetics with lots of fat. And we're thinking, how did that get in there? Well, the thing is, fat is oil. And do oil and water mix, my friends?
No.
Everybody knows, right? They don't mix. So this is what was shocking, because we're starting to realize, oh, the fat that we eat in the diet doesn't just go to the fat cells. No, it goes to all the cells. This is what we didn't see before. This was the shocking news. Again, this should be on CNN every night. Okay? So the fat gets into all the cells. So the fat you eat doesn't just go to your fat cells, doesn't get just sloughed up in your poop. No, it goes into all your cells.
Interesting.
And it forms an oil slick on the inside of the cell. Now remember, the inside of the cell is like a miniature ocean, a miniature lake. All right. Now, if you've got an oil derrick, or let's say you got a pond and somebody dumps a 55-gallon drum of oil into the pond, where's the oil going to
Right.
go?
On the
Where's the
top.
oil going to go, Mark? It goes to the top. It
On the
goes to the
top.
top.
Yeah.
But what
Hmm.
happens to the marine life and the fish underneath?
Suffocates.
They suffocate and die. They go belly up.
Hmm.
And see, this is what's happening inside the cell. We didn't realize this before, that the fat that we eat in our diet gets inside the cell and it causes this oil slick on the inside of the cells. We thought the
Wow.
problem was on the outside. All those years, for decades, we thought it was on the outside. And so this is new technology that allowed us to really see the true cause, that it was happening on the inside. And this excess fat was forming an oil slick on the inside and was plugging up and gumming up the insulin receptor and the glucose channel from the inside of the cell. This was shocking news. And so my good friend, Dr. Neil Barnard, he saw this research and he said, oh, this is incredible. He was so ecstatic about this because his father had been a physician who specialized in treating diabetics and
Right.
always struggled, never was able to cure a single patient in years and years and years of being a physician. So Dr. Neil Barnard saw this research. He said, okay, I want to do a clinical study. Let's take a large group of diabetic, randomly assign them into two different groups. So we're going to put one group on the American Heart Association diet, which is a high protein, low carb, low fat diet. Okay.
Right.
Okay. But it's high protein. No, it's moderate fat. And then we'll put the other group on a low fat, plant-based diet. So he said, all right, we're going to put them in these two groups and let's see what happens. So the first time he did it for 22 weeks. And the group that had the American Heart Association diet, they did improve a little bit. But the plant-based group, extraordinary. 3 times better in terms of lowering their A1C. Tremendous improvement on their cholesterol, their weight, and everything else. So
That's
they
great.
improved. So then Dr. Neil said, okay, that's great, but a good researcher says, let's do it again, just to be sure.
Right.
So we did another clinical study, this time for 74 weeks. Results were even better. In fact, many people who followed a whole food plant-based diet and they ate as much as they wanted, they completely reversed their diabetes. We've never seen any other approach do this. And it's been extraordinary. I've done it. And by the way, he wrote a book called Dr. Neil Barnard's Program for Reversing Diabetes. He published the research in the Journal of the American Diabetic Association. Do you think all the doctors read it? No.
So without making a medical claim, right? And
Yeah,
certainly everyone should see their own doctor or what have you.
of course.
Following a whole food plant-based diet it'll improve
Yeah,
it'll improve your life on many different
absolutely.
levels.
Absolutely.
Tom Ginn asked a question. He said, "What are your thoughts about CBD?"
Right. So some people report using CBD as a therapeutic aid. Now, for some people, we have seen some results. There is still mixed research about this, but
Hmm.
to me, it is a treatment modality. So here's the challenge that I see. Taking CBD does not necessarily change your lifestyle, does it? So the problem that I'm seeing with some people is that they just want a treatment. They want something that they can take as a pill, an ointment, a solution, some kind of
Right.
quick fix. And that's what a lot of people are looking for. They want a quick fix. They want to keep going with their bad habits and their bad lifestyle habits, and they don't want to change those. So can it help? Possibly. Sometimes it can. But what I start off with, I'm not opposed to those things. I
Hmm.
really am not. But the problem is that we got to start off with mastering the fundamentals.
Right.
Now, I'm an old time basketball player and a swimming coach and swimmer. Okay. You don't get
Hmm.
better in sports without mastering fundamentals. If you want to be a pro, you want to be the best, you have to have complete and total mastery of the fundamentals. And so that's why I always tell people before you go to things like supplements and CBD and those kinds of things, master your lifestyle first and foremost. Let's get that in order. So that's my
Well, I
opinion.
mean that's well. Take a look at the hang on. Oh, you're not sharing that screen anymore. Okay,
Oh,
I would say
yeah, yeah.
that that chart that showed all
I
the
can go
different
back.
pillars. Can you put that back
Yeah,
up?
let me go back to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let me go back to. Yeah,
Let me know when you're ready.
I will. I will. It's fun. I love doing this. It's a lot of fun. Okay, so let's see
Got
here.
it? There we go.
Okay, you got it. Is it up there?
Yep. So we're
Okay, good.
looking at nutrition, physical activity, emotional well-being,
Mm-hmm.
reducing alcohol, right? Tobacco,
Yes, yes.
healthy relationships. See, again, this is not a quick fix deal.
No, no,
This
it's
is
not.
addressing. This is really addressing all the pillars of your life. No matter
Yeah,
how healthy you
absolutely.
are, if you're waking up at 5 in the morning, you're hitting the gym, you have a great diet, but yet your relationship at home
Mhm.
is just toxic.
Yeah.
Or the five people that you talk to the most are the most
Mm.
toxic people you know. It's going to have an impact on you. It's going
Yeah.
to, in fact, if you're in a toxic relationship,
Hmm.
in fact, I remember this at the when I flew to California.
Yeah.
You did you gave an example where you put things in a brown paper bag,
Oh
and
yeah. Right. Yes.
if you held it to your
Yes.
body.
Right.
Could you explain that? What was it was if you were in a parasympathetic or a sympathetic state, or
Yeah.
explain that.
Yeah. So the central nervous system of our body
Right.
immediately reacts. It's like instantaneously. It's amazing. And we're wired, this amazing wiring that we have, the central nervous system, which happens to be the first organ system of the body to become operational and distinguishable in the body. So the central nervous system goes in, and it includes the limbic brain, which is the hippocampus, the amygdala, the pituitary, the hypothalamus, and then it includes the entire spinal cord. So it's our
Hmm.
central nervous system, and it runs the show that we don't even have conscious control over, but it's running the show. So it's,
Right.
the beating of our heart, the digestion of our food, breathing while we're sleeping, all those things are automated. They're all autopilot. So the thing is, it's a wire to protect us. For instance, ladies, you will know this very, very well. You walk into a room and your creepy guy radar goes off. Boom. Okay. No hesitation. Guys, you will know this. You shake hands with somebody and you know immediately you can't trust that person.
Yeah.
You know it.
Absolutely.
You know it in a heartbeat. You just feel it because we're
Hmm.
wired that way. That's our central nervous system. So it reacts immediately. Now, one of the things that we can use to help us understand ourselves even more is doing something called muscle testing. So in muscle testing, what I do is I calibrate my strength to another person's strength. So I have them extend their right arm if they're right-handed out to their side, and then I have them resist me trying to pull their arm down. So I'm going to try to pull their arm down, and then I calibrate my strength to theirs. I can also do it with a standardized amount of weight. I can actually give them a certain amount of weight and see how much can they lift and actually get to a certain point, and that's their standard, that's their strength. So I've done it that way as well. So that helps to take out the subjectivity of this. Now, what we do, it's really fascinating and it's amazing and it works all the time. I have people extend their right arm and then I say, all right, now out loud say no, 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 no out loud while you're trying to resist me pulling your arm down. And as soon as they start saying no, 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 they go into the sympathetic mode and they weaken.
Wow, that's interesting.
And it's just like that. That's what happens. We're wired that way. And then I have them hold their arm out and then I say, okay, say yes, 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 yes. And they stay even stronger. And by the way, we know this in sports. I mean, I've coached athletes for 40 years, but the thing is, you got an athlete going into competition, they're saying, I don't know if I'm going to do this. I don't know if this is going to work. I don't know. I don't know if I can do this, coach. No. They're doomed before they even start the competition. They're doomed right there because their head's not in the game. Where if they come in with confidence, yeah, we got this. We got
Yeah.
this. We are the champions. That's a whole different level. They're
Yeah.
saying, yeah. So anyone who's been in sports understands this. It's very clear. It's very simple. It's very easy to understand. But the thing is, our body is wired this way for everything, including the food that we eat. This is one of the things that's pretty wild. Most people don't think that food affects us neurologically, but everything affects us neurologically. Everything.
Yeah.
Everything. The thoughts that we think, the words that we speak, the actions that we take, the company we keep, and the food that we eat. Everything affects our central nervous system. So what I've done is I put, without my test subject knowing what I put in a brown paper bag, I put articles of food in a brown paper bag, roll it up, have them put it over their heart, holding it with their left hand, extend their right arm, and then resist me pulling their arm down. Now, if the food is processed, if it's animal, if it has oil, dairy, meat, eggs, candy, soda, immediate weakening. It's a sympathetic response, just like that.
It worked. I watched it firsthand. It worked.
I even had two of my colleagues who were both physicians. They're married to each other, and I had them do it at the same time.
Oh, that's interesting.
And it blew them away, but they felt it for themselves. So they knew that this was valid for themselves. So, and if it's a food that is, if it's a whole grain, a legume, a fruit, or a vegetable in the bag, strong as can be. Strong as can be. So parasympathetic response. So it's, the body has an incredible wisdom that teaches us how to pay attention to it. All the animals on the face of the earth already use that. They know which berries to eat and which ones not to eat. They know. They pay attention to how their body is telling them. They know intuitively. They're paying attention to the central nervous system. Human beings are the only creatures on the face of the planet that don't pay attention to the central nervous system. And when we start to do that, we can become so much healthier. It really makes a profound difference. Great question.
Ruben, I'll tell you, it makes a lot of sense because one of the things that I found that's helped me is keeping a gratitude journal.
Yeah.
So no matter how negative things are around me,
Mm-hmm.
I put myself into a positive state, and that calms me down. It certainly it triggers the parasympathetic state of my nervous system. Ruben, I think you have said it all, brother, and I really
Here's
appreciate
one thing
you.
I want to give us. Let me do one more thing because I want to give everybody a sneak preview of what we're going to talk about on Sunday. A sneak preview, because one of the things right now, because of COVID, we need to be able to really do the work internally and become happier. All right. So we need to be able to do that. Let's see if I can get it from slide. Let's see if I can get this to go right. Let's see. Hold on. Oop. Let me go out of that. Hold on for a second.
No problem.
We'll get to that real fast. Here we go. So one of the things that I'm going to talk about on Sunday is how can we be happier, even with this, even with the circumstances that we're dealing with right now. How
Look
can
what
we?
Tom says here.
Oh, very good.
Gratitude is powerful medicine.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's number one on the list, Tom. Really great. Really great. So one of the great authors that I'm going to refer people to on Sunday is Sean Achor. Okay, let's see if you got the slide now. Okay, great. You can share that.
That's it. Share that one. Okay.
Yeah, share that slide. Okay, very good. Okay, so Sean Achor wrote a book called The Happiness Advantage. So here are his 6 daily happiness exercises. So if you're out there, you really want to focus on these 6. So number 1, absolutely gratitude exercises. Write down 3 things you're grateful for that have occurred over the last 24 hours. All right. They don't have to be profound. I mean, we really do have blessed lives. We really do. So it could be a really good cup of coffee or the warmth of a sunny day. Whatever you're grateful for, write down 3 things, especially right before you go to bed. It really will make a difference. The number 2 is the doubler. The doubler. Take one positive experience from the past 24 hours and spend just 2 minutes writing down every detail that you can think of about that experience. As you remember it, your brain labels it as meaningful and deepens the imprint in your brain. Another thing to help solidify the parasympathetic branch of the central nervous system. Number 3, the fun 15. Just 15 minutes. Do 15 minutes of something that you enjoy. Something. I don't care what it is. Maybe it's gardening or walking the dog every day. Just do something. Anything at all. Find something that you can do at least for 15 minutes. The effects of that can be as effective as taking an antidepressant. We have the research on this. Number 4, meditation. Now, it's not woo-woo, all right? It's really powerful, but every day take just 2 minutes to stop whatever you're doing and concentrate on breathing slowly. Breathing slowly. Just breathe. Focus on your breath. Even a short mindful break can result in a calmer, happier you. Fabulous work. It really makes a difference. And then number 5, conscious acts of kindness. This is really a game winner for everyone at the start of every day. All right. Instead of looking at what's wrong in the world, send out a short email or a text praising someone that you know for their behavior or for their progress that they're making. All right. For their behavior or for their progress. Our brains become addicted to feeling good by making others feel good. It really is a big game changer, really makes a difference. And then number 6, deepen your social connections. Even though we are not able to be physically connected, spend time with family and friends somehow. I mean, we've got Zoom, we've got the phone, we've got FaceTime, whatever the case may be. Our social connections are one of the best predictors for success in health, even life expectancy. So do what you can. So that's just a sneak preview of what I'm going to cover on Sunday as far as how we can live a thriving, healthy, happy life.
So back to you. On Sunday, what time is it on Sunday?
It's going to be at 2:00 Pacific time, which is 5:00 Eastern time. And it'll be
go right to that website that I have scrolling, CoachRuben.com.
Right. Go to CoachRuben.com, scroll down to the bottom of the page. You'll see the event listed, and then just click on that, and then it'll take you to the registration page. Go ahead and register, and then you'll get an email with the special link for the Zoom event. So it's awesome. Fun stuff.
So my dear friend Tom here says you are awesome. And,
Thank you. Thank you.
And you are the man.
Thank you, Tom. Appreciate that. Thanks for being here. It's wonderful to be able to share with you and everyone. And I'm really excited about being able to contribute to people. Just to let you know, my personal mission statement, I am passionately committed to eliminating chronic disease from the face of the planet, empowering every single human being to live a thriving, healthy, happy life. So I am passionate about this. So thank you for giving me the opportunity to do this this evening, Mark.
So it's Sunday.
Yes.
How many Sunday? Every Sunday or just
every Sunday? I'm doing a different webinar. So I'll be doing every Sunday. So while we're in COVID,
what time East Coast time? What time East Coast?
5 p.m. East Coast time. 5 p.m. Eastern time. 2 p.m. Pacific time. We'll go for a couple of hours. And then what I will do, if you register and you're not able to make it, I'm still going to send you the follow-up email with the link to the recording. I'll send you resources. I'll send you all kinds of information, follow-up information. I'll include things like recipe links and websites, videos, all kinds of things. I am a giver. I believe the giver's game. So I'm going to give you lots of information. It's all for free. I'm out to change the planet. So I can't wait to just change the planet. That's what I'm doing. I'm in the process of writing my next book, which is going to be my masterpiece on health, and it's called How to Fully Live. And I've written 20 chapters so far. I got about another 9 to go, and I'm very excited about this prospect. And anyway,
Coach, Coach Ruben, I want to thank you so much. At a time where the country is divided, at a time
Hmm.
where COVID is really on the uptick, and people are
Yeah.
nervous, and there's
Right.
uncertainty. People are losing their jobs.
Yeah.
I really feel for these restaurant owners and these gym
Hmm.
owners. I mean, it's just it seems like it's a new normal, and until we have a vaccine that will, and who knows how long that's going to take? Who knows?
It's going to take a
Um,
while, more than likely. So this is why I'm encouraging people to not wait. Start looking to reinvent yourself now. Start being positive now. Look towards other opportunities that you can start to dive into now. This is a time of reinvention. It really is. I've had to reinvent myself. I mean, I'm doing things that I've never done before. I mean, I'm doing webinars. I didn't do that before. So
right.
it's a time for reinvention. It really is. That's what a crisis will force us to do. Yes, we have to deal with the danger and the risk, but we also have to look for the opportunities. And the opportunities may mean we go within and come up with something new. And that's okay.
Now on your, I'm going to go onto your website. Let me see. I'm going to pull it
Okay,
up
go
here
ahead.
just to see. I'm going to show. Let me
Healthy
go
lives,
here. Let
healthy
me type
leaders,
in.
healthy organizations.
I'm going to go coach. Hold on. I'm going to go coach Ruben.com. I know you don't see anything just yet. Let's
Yeah,
pull up
it's
your
all right.
site.
You'll get there.
Let that get up there. A moment.
Yeah.
And hang on a second. So I got the cable company coming tomorrow to get me up to 1 gigabyte of speed.
Woo!
So I don't
There you
have
go.
this. Yeah. This
See?
is insanity.
There you go. There you
Yeah,
go.
it's slow.
You'll have that kind of speed to do all kinds of things with.
Oh, absolutely. Well, it is my goal is to leave people better than the way I find them.
Yeah,
And I want to
great.
just create so much value, even in my work, because I'm a trainer in the automotive side, but I
Hmm.
always want to create more value than what they
Yes,
pay for, and I'm more
absolutely.
concerned with connecting with people's hearts
Yeah,
as well as
yeah,
their minds.
yes.
Um, yeah, unfortunately, it. Oh, here we go. Okay, so
Mhm.
I'm gonna go to
Got a
screen
picture of me
share.
in
Hold on one
moment.
second. Oh yeah. You're in all your glory. You're
All
there. Hang
stretched out.
on. Let me.
All stretched out.
Oh yeah.
My big arm span.
So it's going to give me an option for a tab. Coach
Okay.
Ruben. I'm gonna click share audio. I'm gonna click share,
Okay.
and here we go. Can you see it? Let's see here.
Not yet. It's coming up.
Okay. So I'm gonna click on this one here.
There you go. That's
I'm
it.
gonna add
Oh,
the
no,
stream.
no, it clicked off.
Oh, I click. Oh, here
Right.
we go.
Yep.
Here we go. I apologize. I think we're
There you
back.
go.
There we go.
It's still getting sharpened. Yeah.
So towards the bottom, testimonials. Hang on.
Go below
So where would I
testimonial.
find about
Go all the way
the
down to the
webinar?
bottom. Go down to the bottom. Go down to the
All the way
bottom.
down. Uh-huh.
All the way down. Go down further. Go down further. Further. Wait a minute. It should be there.
That's
Go up
that's as
just a little
far
bit.
that's as far.
Go up just a little bit. Go up just a little bit. Go up just a little
Uh-huh.
bit. A little bit more. A little bit more. A little bit more. A little bit more. Huh, it's not showing for some reason. That's odd.
So if I click
Okay.
on if I click on events, would it pop
You
there?
know, I'm not. It might be there. Go to upcoming events. Yeah. No, it's not there either. Okay, so I have to do something because it was showing up on my page. So I'm glad you checked this.
Okay.
Okay, very good. But I am
Yeah.
on Facebook. So I am on Facebook. So if you find me on Facebook, then
Yep.
you can actually find my events. I do post my events on Facebook, so they're there, and so you can just go to there. So check that out. But I'm going to check my
I will.
website because it was showing up on my webpage. I don't know why it's not showing up. I
No
don't know why.
worries.
Yep, but thank you for showing me
Well,
that because now I can.
it's definitely coachruben.com, and what I'll do is
Yeah,
I'll get a post. I'll add this
yeah,
to the feed. I'll put the
yes,
information in there and the details.
Absolutely.
But again, Ruben, I'm so grateful to you, and thank you so much for spending some time with me. We're on for an hour. I normally do not do an hour live, but
It
the
was a special event.
information, it is, but it's definitely it's a very timely topic, and not enough people are talking about it. There's a
Yeah.
lot of focus on the negative,
Right.
and there needs to be some focus on what we can do to take back control of our lives. Because in the end,
Yeah.
you know, I know for me, I can only speak for me now. The things that have happened to me or things that have happened in my life this year,
Yeah.
when you change your focus, you change the quality of your life. So
Right.
instead of this is happening to me, it's happening for me.
Correct.
It's happening for me. And
Hmm.
what is the blessing I don't see?
Hmm.
And how can I make somebody else's day? We're
Yeah.
living in a world right now where everyone's wearing a mask and we're not seeing smiles.
Right.
We don't see smiles anymore.
Yeah.
And so you just don't know who just a kind word could
Hmm.
impact. You never know who
Yeah.
is one negative thought away from just ending it all. And so I'm mindful of that. And I
Yeah.
smile behind my mask. And you could see
Absolutely. Hmm.
when I train on phones, I say you could hear a smile over the phone.
Oh yeah. Definitely.
So again, this has been timely. Thank you so much, Ruben. And we'll do more of these. I
Yes.
promise you.
Absolutely.
Hey, you have a
Absolutely.
great night, and we'll talk
Thank
soon. Thank you
you. Okay.
again, brother. All
Bye.
right. Bye bye.